How is it going, guys? Drew Peacock here, back with another video, and I think the number one most asked question that I receive from you guys is, Drew, what's a good first car? And now I don't know all of your guys' personal preferences, so I can't help with every single one of you, but what I can do is tell you some cars to probably avoid, and this list probably will upset a lot of people. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna speak the cold hard truth. You can either agree with it or disagree with it, that's up to you. But these are facts, what I'm about to spit, so be ready. Buying your first car is not as important as a lot of people think. A lot of people think that the first car needs to be like a Toyota Supra or like a Z01, and it's just further from the truth. That's just a dumb idea, and I'm sorry. So let's go ahead and dive right in. If you guys think I missed any, go ahead and comment down below, and I'm sorry in advance. I'm gonna crush a lot of 16-year-old dreams right now. I apologize. First things first, and this is going to eliminate a large amount of cars. So if you were looking at one of these, I'm sorry, but it is a horrible idea for anybody to get a 400 plus wheel horsepower car as their first car. Anything 400 wheel horsepower, maybe even 350 or above, is just way too much power for a 16-year-old. That's way too much power. And you might be thinking, Drew, I'm 16 and a half. I could totally handle that, bro. I'm sorry, but those clips that we see of people wrapping their Mustangs around trees, 99% of the time it's because a Mustang is a really affordable car. And a lot of people get them as their first cars, and that's exactly what happens. So anything Camaro, SS, Corvette, maybe even like the new Supra, the new 400Z, Mustang 5.0, anything like that, just Scat Packs are slow. So maybe you can have a Scat Pack. Those things are dog shit slow. But anything like that, just stay away from it. Learn how to drive first. Learn how to handle power. Learn how to take corners. Learn your car's limits and just have that like mental knowledge before you buy something stupid. Now that I've upset every 16-year-old thinking that they were gonna get a 1,000 horsepower Supra as their first car, I'm sorry. It's just the truth. I'm sorry. I'm a little older. I'm a little wiser now. Okay. I would have killed myself if I had that much power. Luckily, I started with a V6 Mustang, which is perfect in my opinion, because you learn the basic skills with that, and then you move up from there. Next thing, and this is the same thing sort of, don't get a 1,000cc motorcycle. Horrible idea. Very fast bike, very fun bike. You can keep up with 1,000 horsepower cars. You will die. You will not see your 21st birthday. I'm being completely honest. You will die. Let's move on. Just cross that off your list right now. I think a lot of you guys will agree with me on this one. N54s. Anything with an N54, avoid it. Avoid it, avoid it, avoid it. I'm assuming if it's your first car, that means you don't have a daily, which means don't get that, because that's not a good daily. Extremely unreliable. You'll be stranded. You won't be able to get to school on time. You won't be able to get to work. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Cool car. I like M54s. You can make good power with an N54. I would not want to own one though because of the issues that the car brings. There's a reason people say those are unreliable and they have issues. They do compare them to a 2JZ, but you don't get the rock solid reliability of Toyota with that German turd. So just don't do it. Very popular first car because they are very cheap depending on what car you get it in, but you can find 335i's for sub $10,000. That's like a good first car price, so just don't though. Don't do it. Next one. Again, most of you will probably agree. This is a lot of people's dream car though. Evo 9 or older, just don't do it. Now, luckily Evo prices are still way up there, so a lot of people are just going to be ruled out based on monetary factors, but they are extremely unreliable. I have seen people on Instagram that have Evo 9s and older, and 99% of the time they're just in the garage like this because they don't run. So Evo 9 or older, don't recommend it. Once again, cool car, can make great power, fun race car, fun weekend car. Not a good first car because it's not a good daily. Just don't do it. My boy Ian had his Evo, and it was an Evo 8 with an Evo 9 swap. Very cool car, made 600-ish horsepower. Didn't like to turn on half the time. That's just Evo things, I'm sorry. And now it would be very unfair to mention the Evo without mentioning its rival, which is also a horrible idea. WRX, rule them out. Don't want them. WRX, don't want them. Just rule it off your list right now. You're making a mistake. I like my STI. It has its little issues. Once again, would I want it to be my only car and not have anything else? Probably not. Especially if you're a young kid that just wants to modify their car. Definitely a bad idea. Don't do it. Just Evo, WRX, no rally cars. Don't get them. No. Just like the BMWs, the memes are true. Avoid them. As a first car, not a great idea. Now that I've lost probably 90% of my viewers, let's continue because the list does not end there. This one, most people are probably falling for this kind of bait. And I could see why. If I was a young, naive 16-year-old with a few $1,000s in my pocket, I might head to OfferUp, head to Facebook Marketplace, and look what builds people are selling. So let's go check out some cool builds, you know? On my channel, we look at a lot of builds, a lot of stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and a lot of stuff on OfferUp. You don't want to finish someone else's project. I'm telling you right now, do not go there and look for someone else's project car. Don't go buy a cheap project car as your first car. Very, very bad idea. No, you're going to be taking the bus. You want to be driving the car, but you're going to be taking the bus. I already know it. 9 times out of 10, they are selling that car for a reason, and you are going to be the fool that is going to end up with it, and then you're going to have the same problem and sell it down the line as well. My first car that I bought with my own cash was a 1973 Oldsmobile Omega. You guys never saw it on this channel because this was before I even tried doing YouTube or anything like that. And there's a reason why I don't have that car anymore, because I tried buying someone else's project, and I had a car in my driveway for a year until I bought an actual running car, which happens to be the Mustang. I was a dumb, naive 19-year-old kid, and I thought, oh, this is a good purchase. They're letting go a Oldsmobile Omega for $3,000 or something like that. I think it was even cheaper than that. It was like sub $2,000. Had an engine, just had nothing else but a lot of rust. It did have a lot of rust. So you see that S13 sitting there? Ooh, it looks cool. That's a cool looking S13. It's got a body kit. It's not painted, but it's got a body kit. Oh, it's got a motor, but it's got a blown head gasket. I could fix that. Don't do it. You're making a mistake. Oh, but that's a cool S2K. It's got a supercharger. It's just the transmission. Don't do it. I'm telling you right now, don't fall bait to these people. There are good project cars out there that might maybe make a good first car, but I would avoid it as a first car. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people that clicked on this video probably have some of these cars saved. They got the little tab saved and all that. They're keeping their eye on it, seeing what's going on with the car. Move on. Move on. It's easier once you move on. Just move on. But yeah, don't buy someone else's project car. It's gonna be someone else's project car after you give up on it as well. So I'm just speaking the facts. All right, the last car on my list, and I don't think there's going to be a single person that will say anything positive about this vehicle for a first-time car owner. RX-8s or anything rotary. Cool noises, cool engine, interesting, cool talking point. Hey, chick, do you know I got a Dorito in my fucking engine bay? Cool. What's not cool, like all the other cars on this list, is walking your ass to wherever you gotta go. Not cool. Definitely not cool. Now, you can kind of make a rotary reliable, but first car, I'm thinking, guy that is just getting into cars, you know, maybe he wants something kind of cool. That's like, whether you like the RX-8 or not, that's up to you. They're affordable, that's for sure. And they're unreliable for the most part. Those things need to be rebuilt often-ish, sort of. So unless you know what you're doing, probably not a good idea as a first car. I want a rotary, but I have a few other cars in case it doesn't decide to turn on one day that I can drive. And that doesn't work with everyone. You need a car that's going to be reliable. You need a car that's going to get you from point A to point B. You don't want to fucking drop out of college because your car doesn't work. And I know there's going to be those guys in the comments. Drew, you're wrong. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I can do. I'm not an idiot. I could handle a ZR1. I've never driven manual before, but I could handle it. I've played Forza. Or there's going to be the guys, Drew, I've wrenched on a few Lego and RC cars before. I know everything there is to know about cars. I've played Forza. I'm not an idiot. And to that I say, I'm sorry, but you are an idiot, and you're gonna learn your lesson the hard way. You know what happened the first time I drove a Corvette? I don't think I've ever told this story. Maybe I have on stream or something. First time I drove a Corvette, me, dumb, naive, 19-year-old Drew working at a dealership, driving a car I definitely shouldn't have been driving, took out this used Corvette, C7 Stingray, just a base Stingray. Took it out and was like, you know what? I feel like I want to go fast. And I gunned it. And the car instantly went, and I drove back to the dealership, pants soiled, and parked it and never touched it again. If I was dumber and I stayed in it a little bit longer, I would have crashed that car, lost my job, paid a huge fine, probably gotten arrested. Just don't do it. I know everyone wants to have that cool first car. My best advice I feel like I can give you guys, get something reliable. If you want to have a manual, go for it. Get a little bit of horsepower, nothing too dangerous. There's a reason why when people start riding motorcycles, they start with a smaller CC bike because they're a little bit smarter than us car guys. They don't want to die immediately. They do that, they learn how to ride, then they step it up from there. A lot of these 16-year-olds want to get a Z01, they want to get a Hellcat, they want to get a Supra. Just don't. You're going to regret it. Your family's going to regret it. Just don't do it. I genuinely think if I didn't have the little lessons that I learned along the way driving the V6 Mustang, I genuinely think I probably would not be here today because I learned so much from driving a little 200 horsepower manual V6 Mustang that I know now what cars can and cannot do. It's not a bad thing to be driving a slower car as your first car. It's not a bad thing to be driving a non-performance car as your first car. It all just depends on how you carry yourself. Was I popping up to car meets revving my V6 Mustang? No. Was I thinking I was the coolest guy pulling up? No. Just know that you can only go up from there and that it's not a race, you're only competing with yourself. If you work hard and you put your mind to it, you're so young, you can only go up. Just be patient and you'll get your dream car with plenty of experience of driving. Just be patient. You'll get there. So yeah, that's my list of cars and I guess motorcycles that you shouldn't get as a first car. If you agree with me, let me know down below. If you disagree with me, I'm glad to hear it. Let me hear your opinions down below. Anyways, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, subscribe. If I missed any cars, like I said, drop them down below. Anyways, until next video, peace.